Type 1 diabetes generally starts in childhood, and the medical care is provided by the children's services, and of course parents or other carers take a lot of the responsibility for making sure that children look after their diabetes. They're not really having to make any decisions. Now, of course, in adult healthcare, well, we all become responsible for our own healthcare, so there's this issue about how you can move from one to the other. So that's why we refer to diabetes transition. It's the transition, the passing of responsibility, really, from children's doctors, from the parents, from the family, to the person. Now, that doesn't happen overnight, but really over a couple of years, typically in the late teens, there's a transition period. So you see, that's why it's really important to enable people to fully understand the diabetes and to assume greater responsibility for self-management. And if that works, then you have a young adult, perhaps in their early 20s, with whom you have a regular, very positive and full discussion about all aspects of the diabetes, and you understand what's going well, what's going less well, what the obstacles are, what things need to be troubleshooted at this or that appointment. On the other hand, if one is faced with a conversation with somebody who has not really assumed that ability to self-manage, because they've not really effectively been supported through this transitional period, then that's somebody who's at risk of long-term problems by middle-aged, and that's thoroughly disruptive, and then they will have potentially quite serious problems. So that's why we wanted the project to focus on this absolutely vital period of transition, which is broadly late teens to early 20s, when there's this assumption of responsibility for self-management. So that goes to the heart of the issue with this app project. We want to get people to better engage, to understand the day-to-day things which are affecting the diabetes, and hopefully therefore get better self-engagement, better self-management and responsibility, so that we see fewer people entering these periods, these rather long periods sometimes of inadequate or sometimes rather poor diabetes control, for a few people maybe not coming to clinic appointments over a long period of time. And in this way we can head off this sometimes quite long period of poor engagement that we see in a proportion of people who develop diabetes at a young age. So if we could do that, then that means that further along in life they'll be healthier and much less at risk of these long-term problems.